In the last episode from the Alps, me and my father flew from Norway to Switzerland and arrived in Zermatt. We took the cable car up towards Blauherd and the Matterhorn area, and we spent the night in the Flughulp photographing the Matterhorn in the setting sun. Early next morning we went down from the Flughulp to 𝐔𝐿𝐴 in order to photograph the Matterhorn reflecting in the mountain lake while the morning sun gently hits the peak of the mountain. 𝐔𝐿𝐴 was our first stop on the famous 5 Lakes hike around the area. And after we had a good breakfast, we were on our way to explore the remaining 4 mountain lakes. Before we start on the hike, we just have to take a few seconds and appreciate this, because this is what they refer to as room with a view. That ain't half bad. So you may be wondering why I'm here at the base of Matterhorn up here at the Flughulp. And it's like, you remember when I was in Lofoten in February, there was this group of Americans who hired me to do a workshop, and the same Americans have hired me yet again, and we're gonna have a workshop up here in the Swiss Alps for a couple of days. And like in Lofoten, me and my father, we got here a day earlier to scout around, to make ourselves familiar and to have some quality time together, do some photography. So the group arrives later today and my father goes home tomorrow, so we're gonna take the hike today. This is a dream come true for me. I cannot believe I'm here. From where we are right now, we can actually see 3 of the 5 lakes. You have 1 there and you have 2 down there. And the 5th, 𝐔𝐿𝐴, we were there this morning. So there's a 4th one around here, which I can't see yet, but we'll probably find it. This is gonna be great. Look at the weather. It's warm, it's not a lot of wind. The altitude's pretty high up. We're actually higher now than the tallest mountain in Norway, which is 2,469 meters high. We're approximately at 2,600 meters now. And we have the best background in the world. Anywhere you point the camera, it looks like this. And that's just pretty. Sometimes when I feel like taking a breather, I sometimes just sit down and take out the long lens and try to challenge the senses a bit. Looking at this scene right here, with the long lens you can pick small scenes and isolate them from the grand vista. And in this corner right here, I found a piece of a glacier that looks really, really interesting. So I'm just grabbing a quick shot of this before moving on. It almost looks a bit like a painting. It's very grey, and the sky behind is very bright blue, but the rest is grey. So I feel those colors go really well together as well. So the color scheme and the lines in the glacier, it works really well in this harsh daylight. So let's see here. There we go. f7.1, 1,000th of a second, and 2-second shutter delay. And there we have it. It looks really promising. I really like it. So this is 𝐔𝐒𝐬𝐬, and as you can see, there's a lot of people gathering around the lake, which is understandable. But the main challenge here, I think, is to compose an image without any people in it. It's a very beautiful scene, so hopefully I can get an angle, get the reflection of the trees in the lake and Matterhorn in the background. We'll see. Either way, it's worth taking in just to look at it.
I didn't have to wait more than 15 minutes before I got a chance to grab a panorama of this scene without any people in it. And when I say I did a panorama, I actually not mean a proper long panorama. Let me try to explain. The reason I like doing panoramas is that you can include more space at the top and the bottom in the composition when you zoom in a bit, as you have your camera in portrait mode. At the same time, you control how long the image will be on the x-axis, and that is the key. Sometimes I don't necessarily want a long panorama, I just want the height it gives, if that makes sense. In addition to that, I may want to zoom in without losing too much breathing space. So I use the principle of a panorama to get the space I need at the top and bottom. And afterwards I crop it down to maybe a 2x3 or a 5x4, whatever suits the composition best. This creates my own personal quotation marks start, semi-high-res mode, quotation marks end, giving me more control when working on the image in post. Anyway, this is an image consisting of 4 portrait-orientated images cropped down to a 2x3.
And that means the green lake, and it's quite striking, quite beautiful. I don't see a composition here right away, and we're burning hours, so I think we're just gonna press on for a bit. But it's worth just taking a minute and soak this in, because it's quite something.
The wild.
Right behind me now is 𝐔𝐿𝐴. I do not know what that means, but as you can see, there's a lot of man-made structures around the whole lake. So I don't think I will take a picture from here, but if you see here, we walked through these forests down here, crossed the river, and then we came here. So we had a beautiful hike through the woods down here. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that the hike was better than the lake. It's not the nicest of the 5, but it's one of the 5. So this is 𝐔𝐿𝐴, the last of the 5 lakes, and I have to admit that there's more people bathing than there are compositions. So I have retreated a few 50 meters or so back where we have more space. I don't see any composition with this last lake. But we walked past a panorama point just a few hundred meters there, so we're going to backtrack there and end this episode with a beautiful scene of the Matterhorn and the classical Switzerland houses in the valley. So that's going to be the final image for today. So, the 5 lakes hike, what can I say? It started off really good this morning with sunrise over Matterhorn, lighting the top. It was just a perfect morning. And after breakfast, we went down to 𝐔𝐿𝐬𝐬, which was another beautiful lake with the trees reflecting in the water, and you got the Matterhorn as well. And then the last three lakes, they weren't all that, I have to admit that. But the trip to them, walking in this landscape with this view, it's something else. So definitely worth it if you want to check it out. What do you think, Dad? Was it worth it?
Oh yes, it was an experience for life, and I think Matterhorn. Now I will always know how it looks like. And 5 lakes hike was very nice. It's an experience.
So thank you for coming along.
Thank you that you invited me to come here. I couldn't say no when you said you were going to Switzerland and Matterhorn. So thank you very much. It's been very nice.
My pleasure. And thank you for watching. I'll see you soon. Ta vare på hverandre, så snakkes vi snart. Se den utsikten bak meg. Look at this view. With this gorgeous backdrop. Goodbye.